Okay, good morning everyone. So in the last tutorial, I think we have already finished the head part, the shoulder and neck, and also the spine. So for the next part, the things we're going to do is about the upper part of the body. Because the things we are working on is a bust. So it's supposed to contain the head part, the neck part, the shoulder part, the chest part, the abdomen part. And finally, we can use a base to hold the entire structures. So that will be my final goals for this practice. Let's get started. So first things I'd like to do is to import the female model again, because I hope that for the upper body, it can look like just like the head, it can be like the combination between the flash and also the cyber geometries. So let's go to File, Import, and choosing Import Mesh for voxelization again. And let's choosing the model you want to use. Let's choosing the female one. And for sure, this one is very small, so we can enlarge that. And don't make that one too huge, otherwise the polygon will be increased too much. So probably just like this will be fine. And don't forget to create a new layer to contain the female body, otherwise the model will mix together. So let's create a new layer just by clicking this button. And let's call this one body. Once you finish, let's choosing apply. Before that, don't forget to check this button, because we only need the thickness, we only need the skin, not the entire whole solid geometries. So once you finish, let's choosing apply. Okay, so now we have successfully imported the model to our model scenes. So let's using cutoff tool. We don't need the head anymore. So we can just using cutoff tool to cut off that. And also in order to manage our models, and I don't want to touch any other scene. So let's hide the rest of part. Okay, just leave the body part. And turn on the symmetries. Let's cut off the head. Okay, and also we don't need the leg, so we can just cut off that. Okay, probably just like this. So how about the hand and arms? For me, I think we can leave probably a little portion of the arm and leave that as a decoration. But for now, I don't want to deal with that so too much. So probably I will cut off the upper arm. And it doesn't have to be a very straight cutting edge. It can be like this. Or yeah, probably something like that. Make some part be broken. Okay, so I want to separate the hand, the arm, and the body. So how can we do that? Inside 3D Code, unfortunately, we cannot just directly select this area and turn this one to another layer. So the only things we can do is choosing this layer, select the copy one more layer. So for this one, we can just simply cut off the rest area. So let's try to do that. Okay, so now let's rename this one to arm. And let's turn off that and turn on the body again. And then for this one, let's just cut off the hand, the arm part. So that's it. A little bit stupid, but fairly okay. You still can do the things, get the result you want. Alright, so now let's try to cut off the body area. And for now, I don't need the symmetry anymore. So I want this one can be on symmetry. So probably for the shoulder area, We can cut them. Also this part. Just make them look a little bit, well, looks like rusty or dissolving effect. It will be fine. Okay, pretty much done. So next things, we can try to use in stencil and probably choosing the one you like. I will use in this one, the skin crack. Let's use this one and scale down the patterns, and we can use in airbrush again to deal with the detail of the border. So hold on your control key and make the brush type become engraving, so that we can create this kind of patterns on the border, so it looks a little bit, well, organic. Okay, probably something like that. Anyway, just try to make the border look a little bit broken and it will be fine. But probably you will find out that the thickness of the skin is a little bit too thin. Is there any way to make the skin a little bit thicker? Yes, we still can do that. Even you don't re-import the model, you still can redo the thickness. So let's go to the layer where you put the skin. Right click and choose extrude. And here you can define the extrusion that you want. So right now it's 0.005. Alright, so you can see that right now it becomes much more thicker than before. Probably we can do that one more time. Extrude, thickness. Okay, so now we have it. Alright, so now let's go to the front view and turn on the raster scenes. For now we don't need the arm, so let's turn off the arm. So the next thing we have to do is to get the right proportion. Once again, in order not to touch the raster part, let's turn the material become transparency so that you won't touch them anymore. Okay, so now let's press spacebar, call out the transform. Move the geometry down and go to the side view, probably right view or side view, up to you. Obviously, our model is our probably spine and also the rest part is a little bit huge compared to our female model. It is okay because it is impossible for us to get a perfect shape, so that we can start to adjust the shape of the skin models. Let's turn on the symmetries. So first things, go to the right view. Make sure the back side can fit the curve of your spine. So let's using Move tool. Press spacebar, call out this quick access, and using Move tool. start to adjust the shape. Okay, so far so good. And also for this area, we can do the same things. Make the skin cover the muscle and also probably part of the machines. Alright, so next part, we can somehow to deal with the intersection between the machine part and also the skin part. Let's use in airbrush again. Okay, it looks fine. So, next things, for the spine, I think right now, this part is a little bit too much. The curvature is a little bit too much. So let's turn the body into transparent and turn on the spine. Let's using the move tool to change the curvatures of the spine. So probably let's move them a little bit. Remember to choose in the right layers. Okay, I think that's it. So for now, it looks fine. But although it looks okay, but I think we have to open up more holes so that we can show more about the cyberpunk geometry. So for the body part, I'd like to cut off this area. So let's try to using cut off tool again. And don't forget to turn off the symmetry, because for this one, if you look symmetry, it's pretty weird. Okay, so it will look like this. Again, let's using stencil and start to create some rough corrupted patterns on that. Okay, so something like that. Still, we can use a fill brush to deal with this kind of little, I would say probably the sharp edge or something. Okay, pretty much done. So, for the rest part, I would say just like the things we deal with before, like this the face part. On the face part, just like what we said before, the point is always about the border. So on the border area, although right now we have a fairly okay detail, but it doesn't look perfect. So if you want to have a better one, yeah, we still can do. There are still a lot of work we can do. Probably first things I will do is I will try to increase the thickness on the border, make this part looks like some kind of say scar or something. Okay, just like this. And also, you still can use the move tool and make the border become a little bit irregular. Probably, okay, this part will be twisted and create this kind of patterns on that. Twisted, twisted. Alright, something like that. So, finally, again, using stencil, and to create some kind of pattern on the surface. For this time, it's not engraving. Let's just try to extrude them. Okay, just like this. And also, we still can using the different type of brush to create some patterns on that. For example, like this. And while you are working on this kind of detail, probably you will wonder, if I cannot transform and using this kind of detail in my animation or in my game, why do we have to deal so many details? Well, actually you can. In the end of the day, we can bake all this kind of detail into normal map, into your texture map, so that even you using a low poly, low physics model, still you can keep all this detail. Probably not all, but at least 17% or 80%. So still we need this kind of detail because this detail define the quality of your fine arts. Okay, so I will leave the detail for you. Please try to finish the detail part about the skin, so that after that we will keep moving forward and start to deal with the inner skeleton and also probably create some kind of mechanical stuff inside the skin. Okay, so now I think the detail are pretty much done. So as far as you can see, although right now here there are still some weird parts, well, but for the detail, the joint, the pattern, it looks pretty nice. So let's apply a new material. So probably let's just choose in the same material like the skin part, so that all the flesh will look like the same. So the next things we can do is start to deal with the inner skeletons. So let's take a look. First thing is let's re-import our reference image again. Let's turn off the body part. And don't forget to save. Create a new layer. Let's call this one chest. And then let's go to the front view. Let's go to the camera, background, and choosing reference image. The reference image direction we are going to use is, I think it's Z. Let's try Z first. You can choose in any image, any different type of anatomy reference image. Just find on internet, up to you. So I will use this one, just like the things we used before. Okay, it looks fine. Let's go to the front view. I don't need to enlarge the reference image just like make them have the same size just like the model. For this one, I just want to take this as a reference. So let's take a look about the shape of the chest, the rib here. So basically, I think we can use in a cube to make and transform the shape of the cube into something like that, and then start to hollow the entire shape and get the final rib like this. Okay, and about the number part, well, you can combine yourself. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably around 9 ribs. Okay. But it doesn't have to be very, very precise because after all, this is just a conceptual art and also it's a cyberpunk sculpture. So it doesn't have to be very precise. But, well, we can try to do that. Alright, anyway, let's go to the chest layer, press the spacebar, and create a primitive. For this time, the things we're going to use is cube. Let's just simply choosing cube. For now, we didn't see anything. Let's move the cube down so now you can see that. Let's enlarge this one. Go to the front view. Probably we can locate the chest around here because as far as I can see, the rib is around here. So let's put them probably around here. Okay, something like this. And a little bit flattened. So once you finish, let's just choosing apply. For now, you don't have to deal with your thickness because we can do that later. So let's choosing apply. Okay, so now we have it. Again, let's give this one some material. I want to use in the rusty metal material. Then we can start to morph the entire shape of the chest. Let's press spacebar and go to find out the move tool. Move tool is very useful when we are working on this kind of large proportion editing. So let's take a look. Basically, it will look like a T shape. So let's and we can also turn on the Z direction because I want this one can be reflected on the back side as well. So let's do this. Let's enlarge the brush and start to edit. Make the middle part probably bigger. And also here, make them bigger. And for that part, you can move them up. Okay, pretty good. Let's go to the right side panel. And for this part, it's supposed to be, looks like this. And for the middle one, because we just move a little bit, so we have to change that as well. Let's take a look. Is that the right shape? Or probably not that good. It's okay. And for the back side, we have to make them probably go inside a little bit because it will connect it to our spine. Let's go to the top view. For this part, we have to turn off the Z mirror. So, yeah, that's it. Okay, not a perfect shape, but more or less. So for the next part, we can start to use flatten and start to cut off this kind of sharp edge. Basically, just imagine that you're working on a huge chunk of clay and you want to get a rough shape first. So that's the idea about what we are working on right now. Let's turn off the rest part, otherwise it will block my regions. Okay. Let's quickly using Grow tool to grow some masses right here. On the back side, the shape's supposed to follow the shape of the spine, so we have to make this part a little bit flattened. Okay, pretty much done. So final things I want to use in transform to change the overall proportion of the chest. Okay, just like this. Alright, so I think right now is the basic shape is pretty much done. So the next thing is we can try to use in smooth or fill tool to refine the unflattened area. It's not necessary for these operations, but if you do, well, probably you can get the before we move to the next stage, you can somehow get a more precise result. Okay, I will stop right here. So, for the next part, we are ready to deal with make this one become hollow and make them become rib-like shape. Okay, so how can we make this chunk of mass become hollow or void? Well, actually there are two different ways we can deal with that. First thing is you can choose in the layer that you put this chunk, then right click, go to File, Extract Shell. And for this button, we can choose the Mag Shell Mesh using Voxel or Secant using Surface. For the second one, you can save more physical memory for your laptop. For the first one, you will use a lot of resource from your laptop, and usually, in my experience, it's very easy to crash. So for this time, I prefer you guys using some manually way to deal with this problem, and it will be faster, trust me. So let's choose in this layer and copy one more. And then let's turn off the visibility of the first layer. Select the second one, the copy one, and start to scale down. Okay? The level of the scale down will depend on what's the thickness you want to have. So probably I'd like to have this kind of thickness on my model. So, well, that's it. Let's right click and choosing subtract from and choosing the chest. Okay, so now let's take a look about the model. If we're using cutoff tool, let's press spacebar, call out the cutoff tool, and then cut off this area. Sorry, I forget. I have to turn on this layer. Okay, so now we have it. So that's the idea about how to make the model become hollowed. For sure, you still can try to use these two, the extract shell. Both of them can work, but it will take more time for computing. Okay, So once we have the hollow shape of the model, what's the next things we have to do? Let's undo that first. Okay, so let's go to the front view and take a look about our reference image. So basically, the things we are going to do is to cut off of this chunk and make them look like a rebus shape. For sure, it cannot be perfect, but we can try to using Move tool or another different brush to refine them later. So let's get started. So first thing, okay, let's cut off that. Okay, and also for the button side, I don't need them. Let's cut off that. And also for the top side, I don't need them. Let's cut off that. Okay, so now we have it. Although right now it's still pretty rough, but we can start to using Move tool and start to change the shape. So for example, move the lower part probably a little bit go up. Just like this. And let's go. Let's import more reference image so that we don't have to check that every time. Let's choosing Y. Okay, so good. Let's move them to the side. Okay, something like that. So pretty much done. So the next things we can start to using fill or smooth tool to smooth the border of the rib. If you haven't opened up a perfect hole on the button, it is okay. We can still using another tool to deal with that. And for the upper part, pretty much the same. Let's go to the front view. And yeah, let's cut more. Okay. Okay, I think the basic shape is pretty much done. Oh, still the inner part has to go inside and connect it to the spine. So for that part, I hope that you can try to do by yourself. Probably we can change a little bit about the spine because right now it's it is inside too much. So let's use a move tool, move them out a little bit. Okay. Okay, so pretty much done. Let's go to the top view, check out all the overall shape. This part, yeah, is supposed to be a little bit go inside so that it would look more like a round shape. Let's go to the button side and do the same operation. This part should not look like this. So let's try to make them smoother. Alright, anyway, more or less. So pretty much done. Let's go to the front view. Now we can start to deal with the detail about the rib. So for the middle part, I want to create another new skeleton right here. So this part, basically we can use in this area to do that. And also, I want to create something more like a cyberpunk geometry. So probably I will not completely follow the real proportion and real detail about the human skeletons. Anyway, let's get started. We can try quickly using base. That's the very regular brush that we can increase the masses. So I want to use this one. For the back side, let's do the same things. Let's go to the right view. Okay, so just quickly add on some patterns that looks organic. Okay, so for the next part, what's the things we can do? Yeah, we can start to using the all group friend snake and with the chain tool to add on some detail. So for this time, probably we can try to use this one. Right now you will see that why the resolution suddenly becomes so low. That's because the model probably in the default setting the resolution is not that high at all. So we can save the file first and then carefully using this one, okay? This one increase the resolutions. And sometimes it will tell you, okay, probably the file will get super huge. Depends on your computer power. So if you cannot afford that, so for example, I don't think my laptop can handle that. So I would ignore that. But if you can, then you can try to increase the resolution right here. Okay, let's go to the back side, do the same things. Alright, so just very quick add on some detail. For sure, we still can use in another different type of the assets, like the Grebo, that's my favorite one. So we can use in this. Okay, there. Okay, let's choose in auto scale. Scale down the file. Okay, right now we didn't see that. It's okay. Let's choosing auto scale to center masses and bring the position back to the 0, point. Okay, so now we can see that. Let's right click, let's rotate this and make that fit with our model. And we can make this one a little bit huge, a little bit longer. Once you finish, let's choosing apply. For the rest of the part, pretty much the same, just using the same idea to do that. Okay, so now we have it. So I think I will stop right here. So for the rest of the part, I hope that you can try to deal with the detail by yourself. Basically, that's the overall idea about how to deal with the hollow geometries inside 3D Code. But for the detail part, you can just using your own way to deal with that. Just remember, this is a cyberpunk skull, not a regular skeleton. So let's go to the front view. I want to adjust, before we end this tutorial, I want to adjust a little bit about the overall proportion. So let's turn on everything. So right now, I guess, well, I think the size of the head is a little bit too small. So we can somehow change the size of the head. Let's choosing the skull, that's one of the head, and one part of the head. And let's choosing the skin, I guess, the skin, the eye. And how about the pipe? Okay, now the pipe is, yeah, it's also part of the head. and face mask for sure. Skull, face mask, pipe, skin, and pipe. Okay, I think that's all. Is there anything else? Alright. Okay. Let's take a look. Also here, that's the decoration part. So, face mask as well. That's using the transform tools. Let's take a look. Okay, so basically I think that's the right, we're choosing the right one. Okay, let's undo that first. I don't want to see the reference image now. And the things I'm going to use is transform. Okay, not the chest. Don't check the chest. Hold on your control key and you can do the multi-selections. And if you select the wrong one, it is okay. Just select one, just choosing them one more time and you will disappear. Okay, let's get started. So probably we can somehow just using your intuitions to deal with the proportion. Okay, let's go to the front view. Bigger or smaller? At least I think it's supposed to be bigger than our hand. So probably I will turn them bigger. Just like this. And also for a side view, we have to move them forward a little bit. And I'd like to rotate a little bit, make them face down. Just like this. Okay, so that's it. And how about the rib and the skin? Yeah, we can do that as well. First things, right now, obviously, the skin is a little bit too low. Let's using the skin. Let's let's change them both, okay? Because usually there's no absolutely answer for that. So let's choosing the skin first and move them. Probably, yeah, it is located in the right positions. Let's turn off this one and using Morph tool to change the proportions. Unfortunately, the geometry we put is a little bit distorted, but it is okay. We still can deal with that later. Alright, let's turn on everything. Okay, it looks nice. So for now, let's turn off the arm. Take a look about your result. It looks pretty cool. So let's go to the render view and take a look about the things we have done today. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's all for today. So still we have to adjust the proportion for many times, but I guess that's all for today. Please try to refine the detail of the rib, and probably you can somehow add on some inner machine, like engines, like probably a mechanical heart, something like that, inside the ribs, and so that to create some joint and detail between the rib and the skin. So that will be pretty cool. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please try to follow the things we did so that we can keep moving forward. Alright, see you next time.